Welcome back to Story Not Story. Do. That's the theme. That's the intro.
I like it.
Yeah.
Okay. Now you have to do that every single time.
No, I feel like it's going to be a different intro every time. I think that we've come to expect that.
Okay.
Or no intro at all.
So that's just the intro for this episode.
Absolutely. For this episode, for all time.
Okay. Well, we're back here with another episode for you guys.
We so are. We're going to, you realize this is our 25th episode.
Wow. Big 2-5.
The big 2-5. Meaning, last episode we only did one story, but we did 3 stories when my dad was on.
Oh, yeah.
So we've done 50 stories.
50 whole stories.
Jeez.
Holy butts.
I don't remember a lot of them because there are so many.
There are so many.
Yeah.
Well, and here's the thing.
What's the thing?
There's just too many stories.
There are? So we just stop? Are you saying we're done?
No, I'm saying that how about for the foreseeable future, we test out one story a week.
Okay.
And we both tell the story.
Together. Okay, we've established the word together. Sounds good.
And
I'm in agreement.
That's good. I just burped a little bit and I'm so sorry about that.
That's fine. That's what we've come to love about this show. Your gas.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm pregnant. I'm allowed to have gas.
Sure.
You're not, though.
No. So, if you're new here, this is a podcast in which we tell each other bedtime stories. We are a man and a wife.
A man and a wife?
Yes. A man and a woman. Uh-huh. And we are a husband and a wife.
There we go.
Yikes.
There it is.
Yep.
You saved it a little bit.
And we are here to tell you stories. We're going to do one story, and this one comes from
Laura April.
Laura April with 2 L's.
Yep.
In April, at the end of April.
Yep.
That might just be her screen name. I don't know if that's really how she spells her last name. If she did, that'd be very cool.
That would be really cool. Who knows? We'll never know.
I think she knows. She also signed her name that. Maybe that is how that's her last name, April with 2 L's.
Well, she sent 2 emails and she signed it that way both times.
Yeah, I don't know if she adds the L, though, or if it's her family name for real. Laura, let us know. Anyway, you suggested a story. My girlfriend and I recently got a 1-year-old black cat from the Humane Society. His name was Salem, but we changed it to Obi Wan. He is pretty whiny and always hungry. Can you tell me his backstory? Also, you are from Madison, Wisconsin, if that is a useful plot point. Guess what? I grew up outside of Madison, Wisconsin, so I know all about Madison. Okay. And my family is there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
let's set it in East Philadelphia.
Okay, naturally.
Yeah.
Well, and here's the other thing. This episode is going to come out just a few days before Halloween. So what if we take Laura's story suggestion about her black cat and make it spooky.
Or spoopy. Sure. Mitzi. Hey, how are you? Mitzi, what you doing? Good girl. Yeah. She's just licking her legs right now.
She is. They may not actually be able to hear that. This could have been more of a disruption than what she was causing.
But I could hear it, so it was disrupting my mind.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, we're going to tell a spooky or spoopy story.
Yep.
About the black cat, formerly known as Salem, now known as Obi Wan.
Let's do it.
Okay, who's going to start us off?
Well, that's in unison. Ready? Okay. 1, 2, 3.
Once there was a cat
that was black,
and we're in East Philadelphia.
In East Philadelphia,
but
this isn't going to work.
Partially.
Wait. This isn't going to work.
This is definitely not going to work.
No.
One of us should start, and the other one should wait.
Sure. Once there was a black cat that roamed the streets of East Philadelphia. It was born, actually, on the shores of East Philadelphia.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Beautiful shores in
East
Philadelphia.
Near the mountains of East Philadelphia. Mm-hmm. And its mother was a cat, and its father was also a cat.
No.
Yes.
2 cats had another cat?
And the cat was a boy. And They were on their own. They were stray cats.
Okay. Street cats.
They would say that. Street cats. And they would sometimes sing musicals.
Oh, that's cool.
Like songs that they made up that were in the style of a musical.
Like West Side Story?
Yeah, like they would, instead of snapping their fingers, they would like tap their paws on the ground and be, "We're cool cats in your town. Cool cats, we run around, going to eat all your garbage and be real happy and..."
I'm loving waiting for this rhyme with garbage.
Being real happy and not using very much verbiage.
Okay.
They sometimes do near rhymes or not rhymes at all.
Sure. Well, yeah. I mean, they're not great with the English language being cats and all.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Meow. They would do that too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Meow. So, our cat, who was named Meow, because that's how cats named each other. Really, it's just different variations on meow. And he was wandering. He was a kitten at this point, and he was wandering along the alley, and he crossed the path of a man named Scary Man.
Oh.
Yeah.
That wasn't a suggestion for his name, but okay.
Oh, well, that's what the cats called him, Scary Man.
Okay.
And everyone knows that to a cat, when a person crosses a black cat's path, 20 years of bad luck.
Oh my gosh. That's not great.
And they fear men. Cats do. But black cats fear men that cross their path. So they're always trying to like avoid the path of a man, you know.
Is it men or people?
Men.
Just men.
Yes.
Okay.
But this man crossed this black cat's path, and so unfortunately that meant that this cat's clan had to abandon.
Oh no, he got shunned?
Him. Yeah. He got shunned. Yeah. And so what happened was
he got shunned.
Yeah, obviously.
And he had to leave his home with his parent cats and go off on his own. So he struck out on the open road, traveling by night, sleeping by day.
How did he travel?
He walked places, and sometimes he would like climb in the back of a car or a truck or something, if he could, to get further down the road.
Sure.
And he traveled for weeks and weeks until one day he was in the back of this pickup truck, pulled into this town, and it was a lovely day in the fall.
Oh, that's beautiful. The leaves were turning color.
And that's the thing. He looked around and he was like, been traveling for weeks. I've gotten far away from my family who shunned me. And I think this is as good a place to stop as any. So he climbed out of the back of the pickup truck when it stopped and started wandering around this new city, exploring and trying to find a place to live. And he wandered near this big building with this huge rotunda at the top of it, and stopped and read a sign, because cats can't talk, but they can totally read.
Well, totally.
And it was
they can also talk in secret. Remember the musical?
Sure.
Yeah. But it's a different language.
Right.
Yeah.
Can I tell the story?
Okay. We're both telling the story.
Yeah, but it's my part now.
Oh, we're dividing it in parts.
Well, sort of.
Okay.
I just want to get to the next point.
Okay.
So he read the sign. And
Sorry you had to hear that.
And discovered can I tell the story?
Yeah, go ahead.
Discovered that he had landed himself in Madison, Wisconsin at the Capitol.
Oh, he's at the Capitol building?
Yeah. Oh. Didn't you hear the part about the rotunda?
Yeah.
Yeah, the big building.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyway, he's like, never been to Wisconsin before, but you know what I hear they have? Cheese.
Yeah.
And where there's cheese, there's cows. And where there's cows, there's milk. And cats love milk.
They do.
What I'm saying?
They do.
They love milk.
But here's the thing.
What?
This cat, the driver, by the way, before of the truck that the cat snuck in to get to Madison, found the cat, that we're flashing back a little, and named it Salem.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
The driver knew that it was in the back of the truck?
Yeah, because he was from Salem.
Oh, okay.
So he named the cat Salem. So now the cat's name is Salem, by the way.
By the way.
Gets to Madison, discovers there's cheese and milk, and gets real excited about the milk. But here's the thing.
Tell it to me.
This cat's never had cheese before.
What?
And so...
Not a lot of cheese in East Philadelphia.
No. They're mostly known for cheese steaks, but that's Cheese Whiz. That's not cheese.
Yeah, that's not cheese.
No. This is Wisconsin cheese we're talking about. And so this cat gets a little nibble of cheese in the back of a bar known for fried cheese curds. Tries the cheese curds, and by God, it's the best thing Salem has ever eaten.
Oh my gosh. Of course it is.
Yeah. And so Salem just gobbles up cheese, tons of cheese, and just the appetite increases.
Oh my gosh.
Hugely.
I bet his bowels are in bad shape.
Yes, but he's just very hungry all the time.
Sure.
Much like how Laura said he is.
Yes. Bringing it back.
Yeah. And so this other cat comes upon Salem.
Uh-huh.
This is not a black cat. This is a white cat. And by the sound of the voice of the cat, you can tell it's female. So it's like, hey, you know what's good with cheese?
Uh-huh.
It was more like, hey, know what's good with cheese?
Uh-huh.
Meow.
Uh-huh.
And the cat says, meow. I don't know. Meow. And the girl cat says, wine is good with cheese, meow. And so the Salem says, wine? I'm supposed to whine? Okay. And so Salem goes, I want more cheese.
Oh, yeah.
Cat misunderstood. Salem misunderstood the word wine, but then became very whiny and hungry from that point on.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a grave misunderstanding.
It is.
Well, and so then the girl cat is like, okay, you don't understand at all, but
you do a good job of sounding like a girl, by the way.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
But I don't like you very much, so I'm going to leave. So the girl cat leaves.
Aw.
That's okay. He just got there. They weren't friends or anything.
That's fine. And he's kind of whiny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's like, you know what? I've got a pretty sweet situation here with all these cheese curds that get thrown out and all this other delicious food behind this restaurant. So I think I'm just going to live here in this alley by this dumpster. This is my home.
Yeah, but this was the fall. Right.
Yeah.
See what happens later.
Well, we're going to see what happens later.
Yeah.
But for now, the weather was nice. Mm-hmm. It was beautiful in downtown Madison. Mm-hmm. And the cheese curds were just free-flowing. Salem's bowels were not very happy. His tummy was a little messed up from all of the cheese. Mm-hmm. But he was happy, at least, Mm-hmm. So time goes on. He settles in. He starts making some friends, here and there. A raccoon.
Mm-hmm. A raccoon.
A possum.
And a possum.
And a couple other cats, And they just, hang out, go do stuff, check stuff out. And then he comes back to his little home by the dumpster at night and curls up. And he's pretty happy.
Mm-hmm.
But one day, a cold front blows through.
Okay.
You know, this has been a month or so after he arrives.
Wait. What's that sound like? I'm a cold front. Like that?
That's, yeah, pretty much what it sounded like.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Salem wakes up and he's like, ooh, I don't like this at all. It's really cold. Because he comes from
Tropical East
Philadelphia.
Well, the tropical part of it, yeah, on the shore next to the mountains.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It never gets cold there.
No.
Also, we've established that he's a fairly young cat. This could be his first winter.
True.
So.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, it's cold and he is very unhappy. Snow starts to fall. And he's like, what the heck is this crap?
Mm-hmm.
I do not care for this at all.
Mm-hmm.
And he realizes that this is unsustainable. He's not going to be able to continue living by this dumpster once it gets even colder and more snow falls, as is the norm in Madison, Wisconsin. And so he starts trying to think of a way to get inside somewhere.
Right.
So he abandons his home and starts walking the streets of Madison, looking for open doors, trying to rub up on strangers' legs and get them to take him home and everything. And it's just not working out.
You know, the thing about Madison is it's known for it's got a very big university, UW-Madison, and a lot of doors people going in and out of around the university.
Yep.
So one day Salem happens by the humanities building, and sneaks on in and works his way through the halls. He's avoiding students' feet, and some students looking like, "Hey, what? Who let a cat in here? What the what?
What the what?"
And
students at UW-Madison talk weird, but it's just how. That's just the kids these days.
Well, some of them have the traditional accent. They're like, "Oh, there's a cat there. Oh, look out for the cat there. I'm gonna go eat some cheese curds. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't you know?
Yep.
Yeah, go Packers."
Yep.
Yeah, and the cat works its way into a classroom.
Oh.
And they're teaching Art History 102 in this classroom. He learns a little bit about Rembrandt and a little bit about Picasso that he didn't know before. Cubism. He was very interested. Salem was very interested in Cubism. Like he's arranged garbage in ways that look like a Picasso painting, and he likes that. But then class is over, and he hears. He follows some students out that look friendly, and they work their way over to another side of campus. They go across Bascom Hill, throwing a reference out there.
This is very accurate to Madison, Wisconsin.
I did go to school in Madison, Wisconsin, and they work their way over to the agriculture area of campus, and there just so happens to be a veterinary class going on.
Ooh.
And the cat works its way in, but hides in the corner. And the teacher begins by saying, "Today we're going to learn more about the Humane Society."
Interesting.
And then what happens?
Well, what happens is the teacher teaches the class about the Humane Society.
Yeah.
And what a wonderful organization it is. And how they take in homeless animals from the streets and all of that stuff. And they find them new homes and they make sure that they're all healthy and stuff. And Salem hiding in the corner is like, oh, hey, I'm an animal on the street. I want to be healthy. I want to find a new home. I got to find this humane society.
Mm-hmm.
And what?
By the way, I don't know why the veterinary class is being taught at the agricultural area of campus, but I think that makes sense, right?
It makes sense.
Yeah, totally. Totally does.
And it's fine.
Okay.
So he after the class is over, all the students leave, and some of them don't grab all of the papers that were handed out in class. So once the teacher and everybody is gone, where he won't be seen, he jumps up on a table and grabs a flyer that the teacher had handed out about the Humane Society. And again, cats can totally read. Mm-hmm. And on this flyer, there's an address listed. Mm-hmm. And Salem is like, awesome. Now I know where I'm going. Sort of. Don't really know my way around this city, but I have an address. I'm going to find it.
Mm-hmm.
So he has to stay in the classroom overnight because everybody left and the door's closed. But the next day, someone opens it and he darts out.
Yeah.
Gets out of the agriculture building and runs outside, starts looking around at street names, and eventually, it takes him a couple of days, but he works his way to the Humane Society and stands at the front door and just meows until someone comes out.
Can you? What does he sound like?
Meow, meow, meow.
That sounds very whiny.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Well, he's cold and he's hungry.
Yeah, and he knows that wine goes with cheese.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
Yeah. So anyway, someone eventually is like, oh my gosh, is that a cat outside? Mm-hmm. And they come out and he's like shivering and looking all sad and stuff. And they're like, oh my God, you guys, someone dropped a cat off outside. And he's like, actually, no.
Do they say it with more of a Wisconsin accent?
Yes, but I don't have one.
And they say, oh, wouldn't you know it? There's a cat out there.
Yeah, that's what they said.
Yeah.
And so they bring him in and have him looked over by their veterinarian. Mm-hmm. And he's in good health except for, he's a little underweight and everything. But he gets put in with the other cats. And they're like, all right, now it's time. We have to just wait. And people will come by. And
every day Salem is like, meow. Well, to Salem saying, meow, give me some of them cheese curds, meow.
Mm-hmm. But instead, he's just getting cat food.
Yeah.
Which he's not super happy about.
Yeah.
But he feels a lot better, so he's like, all right, maybe this is...
But he's still whining, though.
Well, sure, because he wants more.
He's a whiny cat.
He's just a whiny cat.
Meow.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
One day... So Salem is at the Humane Society for a little while, and he sees people come and go every day and adopt cats all around him. Mm-hmm. Lots of kittens getting adopted and everything. And he's a young cat, but he's not a kitten anymore. So he practices. He tries to be cute. Mm-hmm. He, people walk by and he'll flop over, show his belly, and like play with a ball and stuff. Mm-hmm. And it's just not working.
Yeah.
But one day...
Would you say this day is in the month of April?
Yes.
Yeah.
Girl comes in.
Yeah.
And looking for a cat.
Yeah.
And she wants a black cat specifically.
Yeah.
And the people at the Humane Society are like, well, boy, do we have a surprise for you. It's not a surprise at all. It's just a black cat, which is exactly what you said you wanted. So right this way.
Yeah.
To be surprised.
Yeah. And so then when this woman who introduced herself as Laura goes to the cat, first sees Salem. Salem sees Laura, and music plays in their minds. It was love at first sight. The music goes like this. Do 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 do. Like that.
That's good.
Yeah.
I feel the love.
Yeah. And then, so the woman at the Humane Society says, all right, first I need you to write down, you told me you're Laura, so I'll write that down. So what's your last name? And Laura says, April. And the woman says, no, I didn't ask what month it was. I asked what your last name was.
And also, it's not April. It's not the month of April, is it?
Yeah.
I thought it had just been fall.
I thought much more time had passed.
I don't think so.
Oh.
It's April. It's totally the month of April.
Yeah.
A lot of time has passed.
Yes. And she says, no, I didn't ask what month it was. And Laura's like, oh. And at that moment, she decided, I'm adding an L to my last name. And so, no, April with 2 L's.
Ah, yeah.
So she writes it down, April with 2 L's. That makes more sense, the Humane Society lady says.
That's not a month at all.
That's not a month at all. That's April with 2 L's. What? And so Laura takes Salem. Mm-hmm. But doesn't really like the name Salem.
Sure.
Also doesn't know that it's named Salem.
Sure.
They named at the Humane Society. They named him Cookie.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not a great name.
And she doesn't even really like cookies.
Yeah, because she can't have gluten.
So she's like, no way. What should I name you, young cat? And so she decides to think about. She goes through several names. She goes through, what are some cat names? Lord Proudfoot.
Yeah. Whiskers. Clonkers.
Captain Twinkletoes.
That could be a cat name, I suppose.
Yeah. Jumpy.
Frederick.
Chester. Chester's a good cat name, actually.
Donna, but only if it's a girl, probably.
Steve.
Marshmallow.
Shower curtain.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And none of them sound right.
Nope.
And then she's like, okay, I'm going to think of one. What's the next one going to be? Oh, please be the one. Obi Wan. Obi Wan.
Oh,
that's the name.
That's a great story for how he got his name.
Yeah. And then later she saw Star Wars.
She had never seen Star Wars?
No.
Wow, that's so coincidental.
Yeah. And then that's how Laura and her girlfriend got a lovely cat that is whiny and hungry all the time.
Yep. That's the story.
So spooky.
Yeah. I was wondering if the spookiness was ever going to come. I was going to get there, but then you would take over the story, and it just never got spooky.
Well, the story's not over yet.
Oh, it's not?
No.
Okay. I'm going to let you recover this.
Well, then one night there was a break-in at Laura and her girlfriend's house.
Uh-huh.
And they heard footsteps coming up the stairs. They lived on the second floor apartment.
Uh-huh.
They heard footsteps coming up the stairs.
Ooh.
I know it sounds like a horse.
Uh-huh.
But it wasn't a horse. It was... are you going to jump in at any point?
Oh, no. It was not a horse.
No.
Sounded like a horse because this person was wearing clunky heels.
Yeah.
But they creeped up the stairs, and Obi Wan, previously known as Salem and Cookie, jumps up because he's like, I gotta protect my humans.
Yeah.
Because they feed me.
Yeah.
And if I don't protect them and something happens, then there will be no one to feed me.
Would you call them Clompy heels?
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's been news stories lately about the Clompy heels killer.
Yes. And so Obi-Wan is like, must protect my humans. And he runs out to the landing of the stairs and looks down, and it's just a person who
wears clompy heels.
Yeah, and
so it was their friend Terrence who tap dances. Sure.
And Terrence had been out at a bar all night.
So he's walking a little slowly.
And he went into the wrong apartment. He actually lives next door.
Yeah, right.
So, oops.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he knew immediately that he was in the wrong apartment because he saw Obi Wan.
Yeah. So he's like, oh, dude, so sorry. I'm going to just go back down the stairs.
But he actually said, I'm going to jet.
I'm going to jet.
Yeah.
Down the stairs.
Yeah, I'm just going to jet. See ya, bro.
I'm
so drunk.
And then he clomped back down the stairs.
Yeah.
And he left.
And he did a little dance, a little jig at the bottom of the stairs before he left.
Yeah, which made quite a racket.
It was like a ta-da.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Yeah. For a drunk guy, it was a pretty good jig, too.
It was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so Obi-Wan is like, phew, disaster averted. Turns around to go back to bed. And there's a ghost!
No! A ghost?
A ghost!
Where?
Floating in the hallway.
Oh, no.
Yeah. And the ghost is like, oops, I came into the wrong apartment. I was supposed to go to the apartment next door and haunt that guy.
Yeah. But then the ghost says, hey, aren't you Salem? And the cat's like, no, I'm Obi-Wan. Meow.
Uh-huh.
And the ghost says, since I am a ghost, I speak cat. I drove you from East Philadelphia to Madison long ago.
What?
Yeah. And he said, then I totally died, and I became a ghost. And I haunt people. That's a whole nother story.
Another story.
But just want you to know, since I'm a ghost, I'm all-knowing about the cat world. And I saw your parents, and they still love you very much. They're sorry that their tradition can't allow them to be with you, but they think about you all the time, and they love you.
Aww.
Boo! And then he scares.
Boo!
Yeah, and then he scares Obi-Wan, and Obi-Wan runs away and whines and is hungry. And then the ghost floats away and haunts the crap out of the house next door.
Yeah.
Like really scary stuff.
Really scary stuff.
Like really disturbing stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. The end.
The end. Oh man, that was a story.
That was a good story.
That was a story that happened.
Good story.
It was a good story. What are we going to call that?
Obviously we are calling that one Obi-Wan and the Clompy, what was it?
The Clompy-heeled killer?
Clompy-heeled killer. Obi-Wan and the Clompy-heeled killer.
Okay, I like it.
That was really, felt a little tagged on the end there, but no, that's a very cohesive story, I think.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. I enjoyed it.
Oh man.
Like people probably listening are like, when's this gonna get scary? That adds to the suspense.
Sure. It almost didn't get scary. Let's be honest.
What do you talk? I totally did.
It got very scary. You're right. Yeah. Which was always the plan.
Yep. Okay. Well,
that is all for this week.
That's all for this week. Happy Halloween.
And stuff. Man, I'm having a hard time with my thought processes
That's
today.
Okay. Don't worry about it. storynotstorypodcast @gmail is our email that you can send story suggestions to. We also have a Patreon, patreon.com/storynotstory, where you can support us. And there's various perks, such as listening to our pre-recorded, our mic check recordings that we do, which are ridiculous. Extra story once a month. Are you kidding me? That's just a full-blown extra story for you. Mm-hmm. And we also have Twitter @storiesinbed and other things. That's probably enough.
Yeah. There's all sorts of stuff.
Yeah.
Nobody goes to Facebook anymore, right?
I will face what?
Face who?
Huh?
Face why?
Nobody, what? Nobody reads books anymore.
No.
Right?
What?
Some kind of book? Anyway. that's about it.
I think that's about it. All right. We will be back next week with some more storyage.
Mm-hmm.
And thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening.
Good night.
Good night. Meow.